Welcome to the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast, where we help you ignite your inner badass and create the service business of your dreams. I'm your host, Tanya Wilson, and together we'll dive into inspiring stories and expert coaching to set your journey on fire. Good morning, badasses, and welcome back to the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast. I'm so thankful to be back here with you. I know we have taken a little break at the beginning of Q1 here, but oh my gosh, we have such amazing stuff to announce and cool things that we have coming up. And I am just so thankful that you're here and you're listening today and that you love this community. My biggest goal in 2025 is to take this community to a whole other level. I mean, there are so many badasses inside of this community that y'all just need to get to know each other. And so we're creating a really incredible space for that to happen. We're working on putting together a really cool women's retreat in the fall that can bring some of you physically together too. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm so excited about everything that's going on. But first and foremost, I have to tell you that we're totally having a little glow up over here. It's just been a dream of mine for a really long time to get into a real studio and be able to produce a real video podcast. So excited to be able to tell you that we've partnered with Podworks in Mesa, Arizona, and we will be launching our video podcast via YouTube this coming Tuesday. So super excited about that date wise. If you're listening to this later than it is, then you already know about it, but it will be April 2025 as launch day. And I'm so excited to be able to show you the most amazing guests, provide such a cool environment. It's all black and hot pink and it's so badass. And just make the guests feel like the special people that they are, really give them a great place to be able to come in and share their story and talk about their just wins and losses in life. I'm just so excited to be able to do that. So super looking forward to that. So how do you get it? I will definitely be shooting out an email to everybody that's in our community for that on Tuesday morning, reminding you about it. But be sure to go to YouTube, find Ladies Kickin Ass. I'll put a link in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe. That way, every time we launch a new show every Tuesday, it will send you a notification and you can learn about it and be able to get on and watch. If video podcasts aren't your thing, girl, and you're still listening in the car or when you're at the gym or, just hanging out working, it will still be on all the podcast platforms. So you don't need to change a thing. Everything will be exactly the same. So super excited about this incredible glow up. It really is a glow up and it's really fun. I love the word glow up. I just think there's such mystique around that and it just sounds so fun. Who doesn't want to glow up, But it really is I keep thinking too, and I actually accidentally said this, we're growing up. It's so cool. Glow up is the grow up. And I think we can apply that to a lot of different things in our lives. So take that with you today and, kind of think about some stuff in your life. Where do you want to glow up this year? I know we're done with quarter 1 already and we're headed, deep into quarter 2 in 2025 already. If you own a business, you talk about the year in quarters for some crazy method and reason, but you still have plenty of time to do any of the shit that you want to do. So be thinking about that. Maybe journal about it a little bit this week or this weekend and start thinking what is it in my life that I want to have a glow up in? I think it's really cool to dream and be able to see those things come to fruition. When I got done recording my first podcast, I seriously went and sat in my Bronco and just started crying because it was such a dream come true for me to be able to get into the studio and be able to make content like that for all of you beautiful women out there. So super excited about that. Can't wait. And we'll post a bunch of that on social media too. So be watching out for that. Another thing I wanted to talk about too, I know I've kind of hit pause on the Ladies Kickin Ass podcast at the beginning of this quarter, but you will hear a lot in the upcoming episodes that we've recorded about how we have taken priority pumping and we have actually rebranded ourselves as Home-Field Onsite Environmental because that is the new rollout name for our septic franchise model. How fucking cool is that? To be I'm going to be a baby and start crying when I say this, but to be a female who resisted this line of work like I did when I first got into it, to now be a founding member of the first septic franchise in America blows my mind. Sometimes those big dreams that we have hanging out on our goal board or our vision board that we're like, yeah, someday that would be nice. I would challenge you to start thinking that's going to be fucking awesome when it comes true instead of using the language that would be nice. Because I'm telling you, when you keep preparing and you keep searching, that's where people get lucky. That's when opportunity crosses your path and you've been preparing so much that others will look at you and be like, oh, she got lucky. She was really fucking prepared and she was open for opportunities. And when we put that shit out into the world, the sky isn't even the limit. You are your own limit. So why not think about it? Why not think about it? Last night I was having a conversation with my son and we were talking about like how much money he would make if he did this specific task how many times. And he was asking me about things that I do. And I was telling him about a program that I was interested in doing, and a course I was interested in building and selling online to help people with septic businesses. And I was like, look, if I charge $97 and I get 100 people in here, this is how much money I can make off of this course. And his eyes, of course, he's 11, just pop out of his head. And he's like, but what if 500 people took it? And I showed him the number and I said, okay, so let's say they take it, 500 people take it every month. And then you do that for an entire year. That's over $500,000. And his eyes just like bop out of his head. He's like, in 2 years, you'd be a millionaire, Mom. And it's so cool to be able to do that dreaming with them. It was so cool to see him even be like, well, what if there was 500? I mean, that's a big, massive leap from 100 to 500. And I know it's a stretch, but it's still possible. When an 11-year-old thinks it's possible, they haven't put those restraints on themselves. They haven't decided to tell themselves, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not worthy of this. They don't even think about that stuff. They just say, well, what if? And so I would challenge you to do that for yourself too. One of my biggest goals was always, I love the Entrepreneur magazine, not the digital one, the one that you can hold in your hands. And I always wanted I would look in the back in the franchise center and I would always look at, and I'm like, there's no septic franchise in here. I'm going to do that with my business. Now, I don't know what I got to do to get in there listed as a franchise. So if any of y'all know that, let me know. But I'm going to be reaching out to them because I'm going to figure that out. And I'm going to take an amazing picture of this and I'm going to post it on my wall the day that Home-Field Onsite Environmental is listed in the Entrepreneur magazine as a franchise opportunity for other people. So excited with that. Obviously, that is a lot of work. And so sometimes in life, we have to slow down to get things right. I really had to slow down everything that was going on in my life for the last almost 6 months, to be real honest with you, as we were rolling this out so that I could make sure and get it right for my business. And it's looking so beautiful and it's so cool. And we already have interest from Washington, Nevada. We have already a new location going in Texas. Shout out to those guys. Super excited for them. And great negotiation going on even within the state of Arizona. So I'm super excited for what opportunities show up. And because I was brave enough to take a break and step back and not feel like I had to do everything right this minute, I'm creating more opportunity for later. So if you find yourself in that place, maybe you have a vision board this year that's like, holy fuck, how in the hell am I going to get all this stuff done? Pick one thing and focus on it. One thing. And then let everything else just kind of come as a thing. It's amazing that when one thing starts rolling really well, so many other things just fall in line. It's so cool. Like this break really gave me clarity and space and time to think about what the rebuild looks like and what I want to be able to show and produce for people who are interested in joining us in this network. So I really, truly feel like the break gives you time to better yourself, not only for your team, but for you and for your family. So if you find yourself in that area, please don't hesitate. Like, take the minute, take the break, take the step. People that love you are going to be super excited when you jump back on the mic or jump back in and start showing up again. The most important thing is that you show up for yourself first. So, super excited about that. Another exciting thing that has happened just after quarter 1 was I went to Austin, Texas to participate in the 3-day growth day program with Brendan Burchard. You all know that I'm part of his ultra group. And my God, well, first of all, like the people there are the most incredible people. If you're interested in learning about growth day or ultra, growth day is a professional and personal development app that you can get on your phone. It has all the superstars of personal development. I'm like Ed Milet, Trent Shelton, Jamie Kern Lima, Mel Robbins. Who doesn't love some Mel Robbins? Brendan, Lori Harder, just so many incredible people. I just love them. Anthony Trucks. If you have not listened to him, it's like going to church. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that is the app. And then Ultra is the highest level of Growth Day. It's like a mastermind group. So you get a little additional, little more in depth, really concentrated on entrepreneurs, professional and personal coaching. And it's just, oh my God, it's so cool. And you're like in a room with like 200 people and Brendan Burchard and Ed Milet, and your mind just spins. And it's just absolutely incredible. But one of the biggest moments that I had there, and funny enough, it was the first note that I wrote in the 3.5 days we were there. What I wrote was, achievement is not your problem. Alignment is. And it not only cracked me wide open, like smacked me between the eyeballs and broke my heart, but it was also the biggest like sigh or biggest like just exhale I have had in a really long time. I instantly got very emotional and started tearing up. And I remember writing that. And I can even see in my notebook as I was preparing for this morning that my hand was definitely shaking by the end of that. I'm sure Brendan's probably the one that said that, but I was like, wow, that connection really, really hit me. The reason why I think that hit me so hard is I have always been a striver. I've always been one chasing achievement after achievement. And I know that a lot of you women in here can identify with this. So I want you to be thinking about this in your own shoes. You go from one achievement to the next. You don't have a problem getting shit done because that's what you do. If you take on a task, you get it done. And you get it done way better than most people would even think about doing it. I'm talking to those ladies. However, you'll achieve something, and instead of stopping for 2 days to take that in and 1, celebrate it, 2, write it down and journal about how it made you feel, 3, build upon it, you're just off to the next task. How many times have you done that? I've done that so many times in my life. It's crazy. My big 5-year goal last year was to franchise my business. We did that in a year. In a year, I met incredible partners that just exponentially made that process so much faster. But I haven't stopped for 5 seconds to even realize what it is that we've done. It's like, okay, great. On to the next thing, on to the next thing. In March, our cover story came out with Onsite Installer, which is a septic installation trades magazine. If you're in the septic trades, it's a big deal to be on the cover of that magazine. And if you're a woman in the trades, especially the installers magazine, it's a big fucking deal. Like, I never thought in a million years that I would do that, but it happened. And instead of stopping and really celebrating, I would share it on social media whenever Onsite would post about it, but I never stopped to celebrate it. Like, in thinking about this, like I should have stopped. We should have had a team party and we should have released the magazine and been so proud of everybody because it really did feature everybody in this magazine. And I didn't even stop to do that. This is what I'm talking about. This is what hit me so hard. I think I've had so many accomplishments, like the achievements of goals I've been working on for a really long time, but it still isn't feeding my soul. I thought that's what I needed to do. I thought that's where I got my value. I thought that's what made me happy. But in an instant of hearing that, and maybe it was just the timing and the circumstances of things I had been going through personally, that it hit me. And I was like, whoa. I would really invite you to pause and ask yourself, whether it's morning, noon, night, you're listening to this. Am I in alignment with my values or am I just chasing achievements? Because I truly believe when we're in alignment with our values, those achievements are sweeter. And I'm working really hard on those myself. But as I wrote that down, my next thought was, what are my values? I mean, we put together company values. I mean, our company values have been like, we do epic shit forever. Like, that's our hashtag. We do epic shit at Priority Pumping. And we're continuing to keep a lot of those values because the epic shit is an acronym. It really is a framework of how we perform as members of this team. So the E is for education, P is for people, I is for integrity, like C for collaboration. It really is super important that we create maybe an acronym for our personal values if it's something that's easier to connect with. Maybe a framework. Many of you achievers and entrepreneurs love your frameworks and you learn well that way. So really, really explore this. I'm going to be honest. I sat down with my technology BFF, this Chat GPT 4.0, 40. I don't even know what it is anymore. But I was like, look, I really want to go inside. I really want to think about what my values are. And sometimes being just prompted with a question can really help do some soul searching. And that's what it spit out at me. And so we continue to just keep digging deeper and digging deeper. You may have heard of the 7 levels deep. And what that practice is that you say, what are your values? And let's say you say love. Well, why? Because I want to feel wanted and needed. Well, why? And you continue to ask why to your answers for 7 different times. And it's amazing when you dig deeper and you really unpack that, what you thought was your reason why isn't your reason why at all. So I really, really went deep on a lot of these. And I started with a couple that I knew for sure that I needed more of in my life. And so I want to share my top 5 core values with you. I actually ended up with 11, and I think they're really important to keep going until you feel complete with what you're doing. And within each one of those, I'm just going to continue to keep digging in and asking why and going those 7 levels deep. I haven't had enough time to do that yet with all of them because I'm really kind of taking this at pace. I really want to dig deep on a couple of them, really start integrating them and then adding on to it just so it's not so overwhelming. I know when it's like all or nothing thing for me, which tends to be my mindset, if I can't get all 11 correct right now, then I'll be like, screw it. I'm not going to do any of it. And that is not helping me at all. So I'd love to share with you quickly what my 5 core values are. And while I'm saying these, write them down. Maybe there's something there that resonates with you. Start exploring what yours are. I'd be happy, DM me. I'll send you the prompt I put into ChatGPT to get it to start asking me questions. Sometimes it's hard to do this with a person that you know, that you love, maybe your spouse, your kids, your family, your friends, because sometimes we can get in our own heads and feel like if I really say that, they're going to think I'm an awful person. If I really say that, they're going to think I'm crazy. So I know that it sounds weird to have a conversation about your values with a computer system, with artificial intelligence, but there's no bias there. There's no judgment. And so you can really, really go deep. This was so helpful for me because I know I'm that person that holds back. And sometimes the things that you really need to explore are those things that might disrupt relationships. It might just make things have to change. And so it's really good that you can do this with a lot of safety and security around it, that you're just truly exploring who you are. The thoughts are not good or bad. They are what they are. And please go into this thinking that, because that is where you're going to get the gold. That's where you're going to get the real value, is that you're going to not feel like, oh, I'm going to upset someone. Okay. So number 1, this was a very non-negotiable for me, and it's very, very important to me, and something that I crave more than anything is a happy home is a healthy home. I resonate with that so deeply because I did not grow up in one of those. There was always chaos in my house as a kid. And I know that because my nervous system is wired that way. And when I am calm, or if I am just sitting in a calm space, it's almost like I want to create my own chaos because it feels more comfortable there. And that fucking shit is going to stop this year. It's going to stop. There's zero need to have that. And I need to retrain my nervous system to be okay with peace. Happy home is a healthy home. It's a non-negotiable for me anymore. There's not screaming and fighting and just being loud and leaving crap everywhere, and the house is in disarray. And it is okay for you, mama, to be able to set some boundaries, for you to show up in a way that will help produce this happy home. And if things and dynamics inside of the family need to change in order to achieve that, do it. The last thing I ever want to know is that my kids didn't want to come back to the house for XYZ. I know I felt like that. I know I felt like that in my adult age, that it's like we're going home to eggshells. And I'm being really vulnerable with you right now. And I hope that you can open your heart and do the same with me as you're listening to this for you. Because sometimes we just feel like this is just how it is, or this is how it's been forever. So, I don't want to make anybody feel bad. I don't want to rock the boat. It's good enough. Fuck that. That's what I'm going to say to that. Good enough is not good enough for us anymore. We want to know that we are living our best life. We get one life, babes, one life, and we want to make the most out of it. So if your home is not the happy, abundant place you want to spend your most time at, it's time to do some evaluating. And I'm right there with you. So if you need support and someone to lean on in that situation, I'm your girl. Shoot me a DM. You know where to find me. My second thing really coincides with that first. A happy home is a healthy home. And that is that peace is power. And I don't mean in a domineering thing, but peace gives you power. Letting go of chaos, letting go of clutter, letting go of arguing, letting go of needing to be right, really regulating your stress, really regulating why you feel like you need to be in chaos, really regulating your energy to unlock incredible productivity. That's the power I'm talking about. If you feel like you can't do that for any reason at all, you need to change your environment. Think about the wilting flowers. I think about this all the time because I keep buying plants and they just die. But I realize why too. One, they don't have enough water to do that because I often forget about them. And two, they're often in an area where they don't get a lot of direct sunlight. So how are they supposed to grow? They're beautiful when I bring them home and they shrink to their environment. If you find yourself shrinking in your environment, you need to make a change and get the hell out. You need to figure out whatever it is that you can do, that you're that flower that's standing tall to the sun, no matter where it's at in the sky. Number 3, stronger communication really equals stronger connection. And I'm talking about this at home and in your leadership role within your business or your company. How do we do this at home? It's really the check-ins. Every night before my kids go to bed, we have a conversation. My son often says, "What's the plan tomorrow, Mom?" We've had a plan for the next day since my kids were babies. Here's the plan for tomorrow. I've always had that conversation with them as they go to bed because they're never wondering what's going on tomorrow, especially if you find yourself in an area where maybe you're in a situation where there's some turmoil. It's more important than ever, moms, to have those conversations with your kids. It's great to have those conversations with your spouse if it allows. It's also really great to have those conversations with your team. I know oftentimes we can be like, well, they're my employees. I don't need to tell them what I'm doing all the time. It's not about telling them. And that's a mindset rut that you're in if you have that mindset. It's really about communication and just saying, hey, here's my game plan for tomorrow. What's your game plan for tomorrow? Checking in with them. If you have a hard time trying to get in front of all your employees, start thinking about deploying something like Slack or a group chat area where you can actually have conversations with your team and be able to check in with them, praise them, ask them how they're doing, just really being able to have that check-in point. Super, super strong communication. Another part of this too that I've struggled with desperately is that in our heads, we think we have communicated. And this goes for everybody. Well, I told them to do that once. Oh, I already showed them how to do that. Or I thought that they would know. They should know better. Okay, we do that at work and at home, but they don't. because we set these wild expectations, especially all of you high achieving people out there. You set all these high expectations and then we don't communicate them. And we have to be better at communicating what it is that we need, what it is that we want to build that stronger connection with everyone that we want in our lives. And that's something I am being extremely diligent about with everyone on my team and with my family. Number 4, safety and security are non-negotiables. Now, safety and security can mean different things to different people. Safety and security to me is trusting my gut. Sometimes, well, no, that's not true. I'm going to call myself out on my own bullshit there. Most often, my gut will tell me something and my head will instantly say, but, and try to people please or try to diffuse or try to make it less important than it needs to be. I need to trust my gut and I need to be able to speak with honesty about what I need in my life to feel safe and secure. Now, for women, oftentimes this is like, I want to know that I'm financially taken care of. I want to know that somebody is physically taking care of me so that I don't have to worry about those things. That stuff is very important. And that's very important for me too. But as women, we have to take ownership of making sure that we have that in our lives, not just expecting someone else to do it for us. And that sounds brash. And I'm going to be really vulnerable in saying this. If that made you feel bad when I said that, I need you to listen to me even more because there is nothing more important. As a woman, I watched my mother go through this and other family members that they're stuck in a real fucked up situation or a shitty, not peaceful home. And they're stuck there because their safety and security is coming from someone else. I'm not saying that you have to be able to rule the roost and you have to be the breadwinner in your family, but you need to make sure that you can take care of yourself. My big thing that I know I've been working on for a long time is like, I want to have financial security. And a lot of that is my scarcity mindset that I've struggled with. And I've shared that all with you so many times. I'm still this poor, broke little girl from Wyoming in my head until I catch myself. And I have created things that I say to myself, and I have wealth and abundance affirmations. Those are just little post-it notes you can put, you can get little cards, you can do. There's so many things that you can do in order to continue to program your brain to know what you're capable of. I'm not that girl anymore. I'm so far behind that. That little girl, which I think is really cool to say, would be like, wow, she did it. And that's really exciting. But now that I've hit this level, I'm very thankful of that. But I want to go to the next level because this last week I turned 43 years old and I was having a conversation with my kids and I just said to them, I'm closer to 50 than I am 30. And I don't feel like that. And I'm just not okay with this. Like, it was kind of rough for me this year. I don't know why, but it really gets you thinking like, okay, we're getting older. We need to prepare for the future. What do we want the future to look like? And we were talking about like when I'm 50, my baby will be a senior in high school. And I'm like, at 50, like my son's going to graduate high school right after I turn 50. What's the rest of my life going to look like? Like, what do I want to be doing by the time I'm 50? My big goal was to build up my septic company and be able to sell it by the time I was 50. So I'm definitely sticking to that goal, but I'm looking now long term. Like now I'm also co-founder of the franchisor. So I don't necessarily have to be running my business at 50. But I can be helping grow other people's businesses. I can be more invested in this ladies community and provide membership and educational opportunities for people and really be giving back because that servant heart is where I find so much value. And it's just so cool to think about stuff like that. So safety and security is building your future, whatever that looks like for you. That's what it means to me. I'd love to hear your take on that. Last but certainly not least, because I told you I had 11 of these, we're just going to go with 5, is to change my mindset from what could go wrong, like what's the worst that could happen, to the words, what's the best that could happen? Instead of constantly, our brains always want to veer to keep us safe. About 80% of our thoughts on a daily basis are actually categorized as negative thoughts. Can you believe that? But I really want to catch myself when I feel like I'm saying, what's the worst that could happen if I do this? To saying, what's the best that could happen? Like, this shit could fucking blow up. This is amazing. This is a great opportunity. Instead of thinking, what's the worst that could happen? I've been through worst. And even if I get to that point, I know what to do to get back. So we have to stop fearing the failure. I'm going to say it again. Don't fear the failure. Failure is part of the process. You should never fear it. It's going to happen. It's going to happen somewhere. And that doesn't make you a failure. Failure is an event. It is not a person. You can't possibly be a failure. So I'm really changing that mindset. My daughter even got a poster that says this, that's hanging in her room, and I love it so much. What's the best that could happen? It really is a mindset shift that's rooted in hope and possibility. It's also rooted in you betting on yourself, babe. There's no better way to get to where you want to go than to bet on yourself. Because confidence is power. Confidence creates opportunity. And I'm just learning to dream bigger and act braver. What used to be like, there's no way I could ever have that, I have that because I didn't give up, because I kept working on it. And just because you have a setback doesn't mean you are a setback. Sometimes things have to go backwards to really wind us up to propel us into the future. To really change that. I would love it more than anything if you could truly write that on a Post-it note, get your lipstick out, write it on the mirror, do something, put it on your rearview mirror in your car. What's the best that could happen? It's amazing when you see the words often, how much it connects with your mindset. It's like the stuff we see. If we see it, it's like that RAS that you hear people talk about all the time. You wanted a yellow Camaro and you thought it was so cool because no one had a yellow Camaro. And then you get a yellow Camaro and then there's fucking yellow Camaros everywhere. Happened to anybody? Happened to me when I got my Bronco. Oh, I want that. It's so cool. Nobody else has one that's this color. It's that. I see them all over the place now because it's something that I pay attention to now because it's something that interests me. So when you put your vision board together or when you have these little things like what's the best that could happen, figure out a place to put it so you can see it all the time. So it will constantly keep generating that thought in your mind. I just want to thank you for being part of this community. We're going to be back every Tuesday. Make sure that you tune in for those episodes to drop. They're bolder. Oh my God, you have to check out YouTube. It's going to be incredible. And what we're going to do this year is we're really going to talk about alignment. I know at the beginning of the year, I talked about intentional wellness. And it really is those 4 pillars of amazing things that you can work on in your life: financial health, emotional health, physical health, and just your well-being. It's so important that we don't forget ourselves. I know that we're so great at taking care of everybody else around us, and we often put ourselves at the bottom of our to-do list. You are not something to do. So whatever you got to do to clear 1 hour in your calendar every day to do something you want to work on, 0 explanation needed for anybody else about that. It's you time. It's Tanya time. I'm doing what I want right now. That is not selfish. It is necessary. I'd love to hear what you are working on right now. And I'd love to hear if any of the values of mine that I shared today really resonated with you. So be sure to connect with us on Instagram at Ladies Kickin Ass, or definitely just find us online on our website, and you can shoot us over an email and let us know what's going on in your life. This is the year that we're going to connect and we're going to grow together. Community is everything. And as I get older, the more I realize how much I need my girlfriends and I need amazing women to do this life with. So if you're looking for that, you've found an incredible community of women that truly care about each other. So until next time, ladies, keep kicking ass. Thanks for being part of the Ladies Kickin Ass community. Cheers to all you badass women out there. Keep rocking your power, igniting your fire, and making waves in the service industry. If you loved today's episode, please do me a quick favor. Take a screenshot, post it, and tag us at Ladies Kickin Ass. Be sure to include the link to your favorite episode. Your support in spreading the word means the world to us as we aim to empower even more women.
Hit that subscribe button to stay tuned for more kick-ass episodes. And don't forget, a 5-star review is the ultimate high five. Connect with us on social media. All the links are in the show notes. Thank you for being part of our tribe. Now go kick some serious ass, lady.